I've had some issues with Project 2J cutting out sporadically, but running really well the rest of the time, and when it does cut out, it throws 0344 codes. Hey guys, I'm Daryl and welcome to this edition of Project 2J. Now, she's been playing up a bit, and it started sporadically over about a 3 or 4 week period, and it would mainly happen once it had warmed up. I was sitting in traffic, go to take off from the lights or something, and it would just go into like a limp home mode, and it would just buck and carry on. Engine light would come on and it would be a 0344 code. So a 0344 code is a camshaft sensor issue. So bad sensor, electrical issue, timing, possibly. Now I went to the forums and found page after page after page of people with 0344 issues. And you know, some had gone through multiple sensors trying to find a fix. Some had, one guy especially, had just about replaced a whole heap of stuff. He'd put in a new camshaft, timing chain, timing gears, oil pump drive assembly. Others had spaced the sensor on the oil pump drive assembly out, twisted the oil pump drive assembly slightly to get different timing, looked at ECUs. And for my mind, it's like this thing was running so nicely before that. I don't think it's any of those. I think it's, you know, it could be a sensor breaking down, it could be an electrical issue. So first up, it's either fuel or electrical. I've dumped a can of injector clean in the tank thinking it's not going to do anything, but it won't hurt. Now, about a month before any of this started, I'd started to get some small speedo fluctuations. And instead of the speedo sitting solid on a certain speed, every now and then it would just dip down. And I didn't think too much of it, but I thought, oh, this could be something to do with the speedo hooler going south or connection there. I pulled the connections of the speedo hooler apart, gave them a good spray of contact cleaner, put it back together. That didn't fix anything. Now back to the 0344 code though. I figured it wasn't fuel, it was definitely electrical. So on this side of the engine, where the crank sensor was, the oil pump drive assembly and the sensor that runs off that, alternator and the camshaft position sensor. I've given them a good spray with contact cleaner. Pulled all the joints apart, the connectors apart, gave them a good clean, but drenched the sensors in this stuff because they were a bit greasy, and at that point it's like, I'll just give it a good clean with this stuff. It got slightly better, and I thought, oh, it's a bad connection, it's gone away. But a few days later it came back and it was solid again, it was just back. Gave it a good clean with this again, went away, came back. And at that point I thought it could possibly be an earth, so I need to clean all those up. There is an earth bolt on the right hand side of the engine block. Undid that, looked at it, thought, looks okay, but let's give it a good clean. So I've given it a good clean, fold down the connections, cleaned up the bolt with wet and dry, and put some dielectric grease on it, which will stop some of the corrosion going forward. Now after cleaning up that earth bolt, the issue has gone away completely. And what's more, the speedo is now rock solid, and it's been that way for a month, and it hasn't thrown any codes at all since. It's running absolutely perfect. It was an earth issue, and the earth issue was corrosion on the bolt on the side of the engine block. I'm saying this has worked for me. I'm not saying it's going to work for you, but it's a really good and cheap place to start if you are having these 0344 codes, and go through all of your earths. From what I can see with these Jeeps, some of the major issue is earthing, and making sure your earths are always clean. With them getting to the age they are, it's a fairly simple job to go through the vehicle and do that. And for this, it has saved me a whole heap of cost, heartache, and it's just been such a simple process. So for me, a can of contact cleaner, a piece of wet and dry sandpaper and a little bit of dielectric grease has fixed up the code throwing, the stumbling and the speedo. got to be happy with that. I love it when you get these cheap. I should have done a bit of maintenance on this thing anyway. So if you don't have these issues, it might be worthwhile going out, cleaning up that earth on the engine block, and you may not have them going forward. If you are having these issues and you haven't done that, may be good to try. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed that, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.